So a few weeks ago, I was thinking about how if someone is down or even depressed, they can be seen as someone who needs to take medication or they need to change their thinking. And so when they have this experience, it will be seen as something that needs to be fixed or repaired. And that's all there will be to it. But when someone is on the healing journey, feeling low and even depressed can very much be a normal part of them working through their unmet childhood needs. So if someone is down or depressed and they're on their healing journey, it doesn't mean that they need to be medicated, so fixed or repaired, or that they need to make themselves feel better, which is often the case in the self-development world, where people can feel this compulsion to feel good all the time. It simply means that when they're on the healing journey, that they are working through their unmet childhood needs, and they don't need to experience an additional layer of pressure or even shame that what they're going through is abnormal, because it will be normal or a normal part of what they are going through. And this shows how important it is to have a framework when it comes to working through pain. Because without this, as I've said, it will just end up being pathologized and someone will have the need to take something or to change how they feel. And I ended up writing this article about this topic. And it's called, "Can Someone Feel Low When They Are Grieving Unmet Childhood Needs?" When someone is on a healing journey and is thus working through their emotional wounds, there are going to be moments when they will be in a lot of pain. The reason for this is that they will be facing up to the fact that certain needs won't be met. These needs will go back to when they were a child, a toddler, and even an infant. Once they have become aware of an unmet need, it will give them the chance to face the pain that they were unable to face all those years ago. This will be a time when they will be in their feminine element, as they will be letting go and allowing themselves to cry out the pain that is inside them. Their masculine element, on the other hand, that will give them the need to change, fix, and repair something, and will have given them the strength to face themselves, won't be needed at this point. To be able to do this and not resist what is going on will take a certain amount of presence. If they find it hard to be present and to hold the space for themselves, they will probably need to reach out for external support. By reaching out for support, they will be able to develop or embrace more of their presence. It is then not that they will need external support in this form forever. It is just until they are ready to generally hold the space for themselves. Once they have this ability, they will be able to work through just about whatever comes up. At this point in time, this might be hard for them to accept, but they are likely to see the results for themselves. When they are working through one or a few unmet childhood needs, there are going to be other unmet childhood needs that they are not aware of. As a result of this, they are going to be engaging in transference. This is something that will take place unconsciously, and it is where they will see certain people as their caregivers and those from their early years. Thanks to this, they will be engaging in repetition compulsion. So, by unconsciously seeing certain people as their caregivers, they will do what they can to finally receive what they missed out on as a child and before. Ultimately, certain parts of their being will be looking for love, acceptance, and to be seen as enough, for instance. To achieve this, they can work hard, try to be seen as special, do what they can to be successful, bend over backwards for others, and spend a lot of time volunteering, among other things. What is clear then is that these unmet childhood needs will provide them with a lot of motivation and fuel to do things. However, this motivation and fuel will be coming from their need to avoid facing how they feel. After working through one or a number of unmet childhood needs, they are likely to soon end up coming into contact with another unmet need. And while working through this need or these needs will stop them from looking for what can't be provided by another human being, it can also end up wiping them out. What they have been unconsciously looking for so long won't be able to be provided, and this will cause them to get in touch with how they felt originally. When this need was not met many, many years ago, they would have experienced a lot of pain that would have soon been repressed by their brain. This is likely to be a time when they will feel helpless and hopeless, and they may even want their life to end due to how much pain they will be in. Their desire to do the same thing is likely to have been taken away, which will also take away a lot of their motivation and fuel. Consequently, whilst they are working through these wounds, they can spend a fair amount of time feeling low and even depressed. But by understanding what is going on, they won't need to see this as a bad thing and as a sign that they are in a bad way. They will be able to see that this is part of what they are going through, and if anything, it is actually a good thing. As even if they felt a lot of pain before, they would have been trying to receive something that couldn't be provided. So they would have only felt better because they were unknowingly living in denial. By facing and working through their unmet childhood needs and those needs that were not met before this stage, their need to replace scenarios that leave them feeling angry, frustrated, helpless, hopeless and worthless, and not enough, will decrease. It is then a case of consciously suffering for a short time, or unconsciously suffering forever, whilst having moments where, thanks to transference, one feels on top of the world, as they will unconsciously believe that they are finally receiving what they missed out on as a child or before, only to come crashing back down to earth before long. The trouble is that if they live in a society that largely sees feeling low or being depressed as a bad thing, and something to be changed or fixed, as opposed to something to be explored, they are unlikely to receive much support if they look towards the system or from a number of the people in their life. Fortunately, by having a good understanding of themselves and what is going on, this won't trouble them. So if you are working through unmet childhood needs and you often feel low and depressed, then please know that this is a normal part of the process. It doesn't mean that there is anything wrong with you or that you need to try and fix or change anything or to even take anything. It's just about you working through this pain, and of course if you need external support, reach out for it. But what you are doing will allow you to become a more whole and integrated human being, to no longer engage in repetition compulsion, and so to finally let go of the needs that won't be met and to finally meet the needs that you do have. So if you are engaging in this process, keep up the good work and don't give up on yourself. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.